My name's Jace. The wilderness and outdoors has been part of my life since being a young man. Climbing, hiking and mountaineering has taken me all over the UK, the European Alps and Pyrenees. Practicing bushcraft, survival and wild camping along the way. My ventures into the mountains led me into teaching hillcraft, navigation and guiding groups. On many of my trips, I would see kayakers accessing remote locations with far more equipment and gear than I could ever carry in a rucksack. Now, in my 50s, I bought my first kayak with the intention of multi-day trips in the great outdoors, exploring, camping and fishing. So join me as I continue my adventures on land and water. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So I'm on the water and first time I've put the boat, actually launched the boat. Had it about a month now and been accumulating gear rather than just get the boat and dive in without any safety gear and stuff. I'm at a place called the Mere, Elmsmere in Shropshire, and it's just a lake, part of a nature reserve, etc. And you have to have permission to paddle here. And I've just been to see the warden, paid my subscription for the year, and made me a cup of tea and we had a chat, and yeah, great. So there's certain restrictions here at the northern and southern end of the lakes. You can't paddle because of nesting birds, etc. Migrating birds that nest here in the winter, etc. I can actually see a heron from here, but you have to stay 10 metres from the bank. And I'm just about at a bank now. And the whole purpose of coming here today was to just get used to paddling the boat. I could count on one hand how many times I've been kayaking, and there've been kind of fun events where you go for an hour or two with a guide or a coach. And at my time of life now, it's something I want to do. I've wanted to do it for the last 30 years, and here I am. So apparently this lake was formed by ice that was left over from the Ice Age, and it melted and formed this lake. And it's about 18-19 metres deep in places, so quite deep for an inland lake. But it's not that far from where I live, so it's a great place to come and practice and play, test gear out. I mean, today I'm testing out everything that I've bought, seeing how it feels, seeing how the boat feels, etc. So getting used to the tippiness of the boat. Every now and again it feels like it's going to go over, but it's actually quite a stable boat, I would say, as kayaks go. I'm going to do a review on this boat and some of the other gear that I've bought, and as time goes on the channel. It's a beautiful day. I managed to get a day off work for this. I am self-employed, but I still have to factor in a day off. So, yeah. Still getting used to the rudder or the skeg. It does seem to work. This lake does have there's a couple of types of algae in it, which you should really try and avoid. It's definitely swallow them. But where I launched, there's quite a lot there. Hopefully, as the year goes on, it's going to die off a bit. So I'll turn the camera around and show you a bit of the lake as we paddle about. So that area of the lake there is off limits. Apparently there's quite a lot of wildlife there that they don't want to be disturbed, and that's fair enough. About 2/3 of the way around the lake, I'd say. And there's a place here where most people launch from. I didn't launch from here today because you have to dump your gear and then go park your car, which I didn't want to do. leave my gear unattended. So I used a trolley and came from a public car park. But if I come with somebody else in future, that's the best place to launch from, this little beach. Just turn the camera around so you can see. A little beach here that you can launch from. And I think I'm going to come back here in a bit and have a drink. But for now, we'll carry on round. We'll do one lap and then go from there. A lot of swans, moorhens, grebes. Saw one cormorant as well. I think I saw a few coots, mallards, and a heron so far. So the first time getting everything ready and packing the boat, strapping things onto it and what have you. And yeah, it took a lot longer than I thought it would. But I'm sure with practice it will get better, obviously. Faster. And so the equipment I've got with me today, I've got a spare paddle, I've got a paddle float, I've got a bilge pump, obviously buoyancy aid, and I've got a dry suit because I keep watching all these YouTube videos from kayakers, canoeists, and they all say dress for the water, not the weather. Now this water is pretty cold, I would say. Probably, I don't know, I've not measured it, but probably around 11, 12 degrees, something like that, Celsius. There's no rescue boat on the water. In fact, today there isn't any other boat on the water, paddleboard or kayak or anything. So if I were to go in, then obviously I need to stay as warm as possible. Hence I put my dry suit on over some kind of lightweight synthetic hiking trousers and a fleece. I've got like a sports t-shirt on, like a non-cotton t-shirt, and a fleece. I have got a thermal suit in the back, but I didn't think that appropriate today. I would be absolutely cooking now. I'm hot as it is. I think I've got to put that on as well. That would have been a bit overkill. How I am now is just about bearable. A bit sweaty, but I'm not really working hard. I'm taking it nice and steady because I'm getting used to the bike. I feel that if I start putting too much power into the strokes, I could end up in the drink. Now, talking about going into the drink, I am fully aware that I need to practice self-rescue, assisted rescue, things like that, and that's coming up in a future video because at the end of this month my partner and I, Julie, she's also bought a boat and the gear, and she decided to join me on this journey of kayaking, and we're going to go up to Scotland. We love it up there. We spend as much time up there as we can, camping, hiking, what have you. So the plan is to take the kayaks up there at the end of October, and we're going to have 8 or 9 days up there kayaking, and probably the first or the second day of the trip we're going to try and find somewhere suitable and practice capsizing, self-rescue and all the rest of it. So although I haven't done a self-rescue yet, I do have the equipment and I have watched hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos. I know that that is not a substitute, and I know it will be far harder than I think it will be. But as with all the mountaineering things I've done, I'm a great believer in practicing this stuff and learning how to do it, like ice axe arrest and how to walk with crampons, navigating at night, all this sort of stuff, because you can go out 100 times and never need it, and then one day you will, and it'll be a serious situation. And so that is on the cards. There'll be a video coming out of that, as getting cold in Scotland, practicing drills. So that's the plan for that. Later on that trip, we are planning on doing some kind of multi-day expedition. Now, that is going to be largely dependent on our abilities as new paddlers, the equipment that we have, because you know these aren't sea kayaks, these are 3.5 metre, I'd call it a recreational touring kayak, yeah. So it's like 11 feet, 11 and a half feet, something like that. And the weather, obviously. So this is where I launched from, and I'll show you the algae. And I don't particularly fancy getting out here again. It was pretty poor. I managed to step into the boat without actually getting into the algae and launch myself, but I really don't fancy stepping out into that to get out of the boat. So I think at the end of the day I'm going to get out at that beach and just have quite a long portage back to the vehicle, probably about a kilometre, but it's on decent paths, you know, it's for people to walk around the lake, so, and I need the exercise. So I think what we'll do now is head straight over to that beach, and I'll attempt getting out of the boat without falling in and have a drink, bit of a cool off, unzip the dry suit, to deal with this beach. It looks quite steep, so I think I'm going to go sideways on. Well, it's not that steep. Let's have a look. Okay. I've just got to try and get out now without going in the drink. Can I get a leg out? Get up from the back. There we go. Not very gracious, but I did it without falling in. So that's something. Schoolboy error. The skeg is still down. Nice little spot for lunch. Nothing fancy for lunch today. Just some flapjack. So, back on the water after a lunch break. Just get my skirt on. Because the wind's picked up a little bit. A little bit more choppy. As choppy as it's going to get, I think, today, but it really is very minor. So I thought what I'd do is go the opposite way round the lake. So at the minute, the little waves coming from my right. Straighten you up a bit there. Waves, man. I would say waves. Large ripples would be a better description. But you can feel it. Keeping those flexible hips so that the boat can sort of rock underneath me. I can keep my centre of gravity upright. I think that's the idea. Lovely. That's really lovely. So the cheap paddle leash I bought, I've trapped underneath my skirt, broke it, so I need to fix that. What's everybody's views on paddle leashes? Because I hear conflicting stories. Some people are all for them, and some people aren't. And as a complete novice, obviously it's difficult to know. See if I can tie this through. I'm thinking as a complete novice, maybe a good idea, so that if I come out of the boat, I keep hold of the paddle. If I keep hold of the boat, that is. Just need to back paddle it because I'm getting too close to the edge. And 10-metre rule. Right. Even though there's only sort of a 10 mile an hour wind or so today, that soon blew me towards those that bank there. Let's go back along the bank. So yeah, let me know comments on paddle leashes. You know, I know a lot of people don't like them because of the risk of entanglement if you go in the water, and also when you're launching and coming in as well. I've heard people having problems. Something in the water here, right in front of us. I'm not sure if it's a dead bird or something else. I think it's just a stick. Yeah, just a stick drifting across the lake. So, back at the Boathouse restaurant. So I think what I'm going to do is carry on round the lake, so we'll have done it back to the beach where I had lunch, and then that'll mean we've done the lake clockwise and anti-clockwise. And I measured on Bing Maps the part of the lake that you can paddle and how far it was if you were to go around the perimeter of that. 10 metres in from the shore, and it's about 1.35 miles as a circuit. So today I've done so far 2.7 miles. Well, I will have done by the time I get back to that beach. And I see a lot of people sort of with the opinion that about 10 miles is a reasonable distance to paddle in a day. Some people do far more, obviously. I think to start with, if we could say do 5 or 6 miles a day on our little exploits, that would do it. Build up that paddle fitness. So I'm back at the beach. People enjoying the sunny afternoon. Well, not so sunny now. It's a big cloud come over. I think I'm going to go around again and nice day. Just wait for the swans to move out of the way. Obviously used to kayakers and paddle boarders on here. They don't rush. Yeah. Feeling a bit more confident in your boat. Gorgeous day. I don't want to paddle too hard because I was going to sweat in this dry suit. The water's pretty chilly. I think if you were to spend any sort of time in there, you'd be pretty cold. So I want to get the video out at some point as a review on this boat, but I don't want to rush into it and do it today. I just want to get to grips with it a bit more, and obviously it's going to be a novice's review. I'm a complete novice kayaker, but I will do the video. Got some other new gear as well for the planned Scotland trip. Got a hot tent and stove. I've done quite a lot of hot tenting over the years, but the tent that I had for hot tenting, or did have, isn't any good. It won't fit inside the kayak. We've bought another tent. I'm going to do a review on that. I'm going to do a review on the stove, and somehow we're going to have to get those in or on these kayaks for the Scotland expedition, the Scotland trip, a multi-day trip into wherever on the kayaks. I think the stove's going to have to go behind me on top of the kayak, which is going to make it a bit tippy, I'm sure. But it's an adventure. You've got to have an adventure. Oh, it's lovely. So I'm up at the northern end of the lake, and it's really shallow. I'm probably 25-30 meters from the bank, and I'm in about that much water, just over a foot. That's a great thing about kayaks, and you can get in places where you don't need a lot of water. Well, I've been around the lake again, so I think that's a total of 3 times now, plus a few other little bits. So I've probably done, I don't know, 4.5 miles today. And I feel okay, I don't feel achy. Might do tomorrow though. But for a first time out in the boat, it's been absolutely fantastic. And not the best setting in the world, I appreciate that, but just to try the boat out somewhere local to where I live, it's been really good. And I'll definitely be coming back to practice stuff and get fitter and all that lot, paddle fitness. So I'm going to paddle back to the boathouse, because when I passed it earlier, the algae and everything seemed to have cleared. I think the wind's blown it out. So I think I'll exit the lake there, and then I've got a portage, I don't know, not very far really, a few 100 meters back to the truck. The only thing that scuppered me this morning with that was there's a cattle grid en route, and the trolley collapsed as I went over the cattle grid. So probably got that to deal with again on the way back, but not a problem. So we'll have a paddle back to the boathouse. It's a beautiful day now. Sun's gone, but it's really nice. No chance is what I reckon. We'll do one wheel at a time, maybe. Done it. got this steep hill to go up. Back to the car. Okay everybody, well thank you very much for watching. If you've got this far, I'm back at the car now, so I've just got to load up, get the boat back on the roof, strap it down and head home. So I've enjoyed it. First trip out in this boat, first real trip kayaking anywhere, and there's going to be a lot more to come, I think. But it's baby steps, and learn the safety stuff as well. We've got to do that. But if you don't see another video on the water before the end of sort of mid-November, then look out for the Scotland trip, because that's going to be coming up. And one way or the other, we're going to be kayaking. See you soon.